I'm so excited to be here presenting to these pros. I've been in so many of these sessions. This is the first time I'm actually getting to present to you. Sorry. We all know in the field of research, I mean, there's two types, and the quantitative gets at that stuff above the surface, the who, what, where, when, how often, how much. The qualitative intends to go deeply below the surface to help us understand why. So as a marketing strategist who uses qualitative research to help illuminate human insights, our goal is to understand why. So why would I ask my team to never use this word when they're designing research? I've had junior team members who thought I was joking when I told them this. I'm dead serious. So earlier in my career, before I was moderating my own qualitative research, I was a marketing manager at a large consumer packaged goods company, and I was sitting in the back room from some focus groups. And the moderator told me she was using a laddering technique. She was going to ask why 5 times to get to the root cause. Some of you are probably aware of this laddering technique. So I was observing closely in the back room, and I noticed participants seemed a bit uncomfortable with this line of questioning. It was supposed to get us these deep insights, but I didn't feel like it was really getting us what we wanted. I saw one of the participants in the waiting room after the focus groups, and I asked her how she felt about the group. And she said, something about it made me feel like I was a teenager getting interrogated by my mom. And that stuck with me. So when I've asked other people about this, many refer to when they get asked why, it makes them feel like when they were younger, living in their parents' house. It isn't a question, it's become an accusation. Why did you leave the door open? Why didn't you clean your room? Why has the dog not been fed yet? Why is there an empty box of cereal in the cupboard? Think about it at work. Why is our ad not tracking well? Why are the numbers down this quarter? Why did you miss that deadline? Do you see the trend? So while asking why, it might seem like the most direct way to get to what you want to understand. But more often, it does one of these. It suggests an accusation. It implies something was done wrong. It blames. It puts someone on the spot. And it makes people feel defensive. When you ask someone why, they often become prickly, like this cactus. And the answer to that question often starts and sometimes ends with one word, because. They often answer why questions in a way that suggests they're trying to justify their thoughts or their actions. And this defensiveness in response to why questions is what prevents us from getting to real deep answers that are below the surface. Sorry. So I used this talk as part of a larger talk that I gave last week at a marketing offsite retreat. And I was speaking right after lunch. And I asked one guy in the audience what part of his lunch he liked best. He said the soup. I asked why. He said, because it tasted great. Then at another part of the talk, I turned to someone else in the audience and I asked her what part of her lunch she liked best. She also said the soup. It was really good soup. I asked her, what was it about the soup specifically that you liked? So I didn't ask the word why. And she said, I loved the creamy texture of it. And the combination of the bright red beets and the sour cream drizzled on top looked so beautiful. And it had the perfect balance of saltiness and sweetness. Interesting, I said. What else? She thought for a moment and continued. That homemade sourdough toast served had the most amazing texture. So you can see the depth that we got from not asking why when it really was what I wanted to know. So one might say the woman that I asked second was more articulate than the man I asked first, or she was more of a foodie. But I'll let you know, my secret is our alternative to using why is the key to unlocking deeper conversations. So here are some alternatives to why. These questions are phrases because they're not always questions. Some of them are just kind of a phrase And these open the door to unlocking richer conversations. Instead of feeling defensive, using these questions makes people appreciate the genuine intention in a non-judgmental way. Even Simon Sinek, the author of Start With Why, says use what and how to unlock why. So some of these are, what are the reasons why? Notice I use reasons, not single. I want more than one reason. Or what made you feel that? How did that? Tell me about that. If you remember one of these, remember that one. Tell me about that. Or help me understand. Or I'd love to hear more about that. Here are some examples of using alternatives to why. This works in your personal life. It works in your professional life. So looks like science has been more challenging for you this semester. Let's talk about what's going on. You want to know why, but you're not asking it. Or it seems like you've been a bit stressed lately. What's contributing to that? Again, no why in that. Professionally, I've noticed September numbers are down. Let's talk about that. Or how do you feel about the new marketing campaign launched last month? So now I've got a question for you. This is the fun part. Now we get to talk about it.